Hey everyone, I am Michelle Cooper, owner of Alchemy Accounting and Bookkeeping Services, and I am joined today in my Say Yes to the Mess interview by my dear friend Tamar. Hey lady, how's it going?
Hey, great. I'm so happy to be here. I love to share knowledge about investing. And as we met, it's such a great pairing. We need all the pieces together. So I can't wait to talk about this with your audience, with you, and share it with your audience.
Yeah, and I think is this the second time we've done this? Didn't we do one earlier?
We did one on mine, on
Oh
where
yeah.
you talked about your work.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am I am beyond thrilled for you to share this information. I One of my goals in life is to change the trajectory of wealth
Mhm.
for generations to come. And I think women have an amazing opportunity in our world right now to do that if they change their beliefs and they do the work. So I am excited to hear what you have to share with everybody today. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Tamar Hermes, and I am the CEO of Wealth Warrior Woman, where I guide women to become financially free through real estate investing. And we talk about not only the how to invest in real estate, but also making sure that all the financial pieces are together. It's interesting. I was talking to a new client yesterday, and she was saying, well, can't we just dive into the real estate stuff? And I said, well, first we have to see, what do you really have to spend? What are your goals? Where are you going? What strategies do you like? So there's all these pieces that I like to address with clients to make sure that not only are they investing and making the money that they can be making in real estate, but also understanding how real estate works and how the financial picture works.
Yeah, so important, right? I think for a lot of people, real estate, it feels scary, right? It's like it's this big scary world. It there's some it can almost feel like like a huge mountain to climb to get into this.
Mhm.
And so having somebody on their side like yourself, super important, right? Why do you feel it's so important for people, especially women, to invest?
So it's so critical to invest because I like to look at it like we think of our finances as two buckets, the expenses and the savings. And what happens is that we're spending all this time growing our businesses and making money. And then, as you know, we don't pay attention to tax advantages. We don't pay attention to a bucket, which is taking that savings and not leaving it in a bank where you make 0.0004% on your money and you move it into an asset that can continue to grow and grow generational wealth and pay you money every month. There's so many benefits. It's almost, to me, it's I just do not understand how, to me, the price of not doing it is greater than the security of leaving my money in a bank account and knowing where it is. Because I just you can never grow wealth when you're earning 0.004%, even if you're making, maybe if you're making millions of dollars, but even then, if you're not having your money work for you, you're still not going to get to the place where you're not chasing dollars
It's so
or
true.
foreign money, whatever your currency is.
Yeah, it's so true. Like giving your money a kind of like a job to make
Mhm.
more money,
Mhm.
it's so key.
That's
So,
exactly what it is, and I love it. I mean, I do the coaching now because I love it. I wanna see more women investing in real estate. I wanna see them more empowered with their finances and seeing that they don't need to have a job or have a company that they feel bottlenecked in and miserable that they can't get out of if they decide that's not really what they wanna do. So the true freedom lies in having growth in these assets so that don't you have that opportunity. I do
Right.
exactly what I want to do. I'm speaking with you because I want to. If I didn't want to and I wanted to go outside and work in my garden all day today, I could do that.
Right. Right. Um, one of the one of the things that I made a decision on this year is that true prosperity for me is being able to do what I want when I want to do it. So
Love
to
that.
have the money and the time, that's true prosperity, right? Because we can have all the money in the world and no time to do anything. And we can have a lot of time and no money. And when we have both, that's ultimate freedom to me. And
Absolutely. And I think that the other piece that you and I both talk about with in our work is making sure that the joy comes in, making sure that we are not just that we're prosperous. Because there were times where I felt like I had both of those things, but I didn't know how to experience it. I didn't know how to get present. I didn't know how to enjoy it. I just kind of kept going through the motions because I was just on a hamster wheel that I had been trained to be on, like most of us when we get in the world, go to school, get a job, start working. So even when I had that definition of prosperity, I needed to learn how to take it in and to experience it, to enjoy it.
yeah, yeah, so good. Such like just like the way when we're conscious about how we're making money, how we're spending our time, we can create incredible wealth, right?
Yeah.
Incredible wealth. Why is real estate in particular a key to growing your wealth?
So for me, out of all the ways that you can invest your money, of course, for entrepreneurs, you put your money back into your business so that you can grow. You hire teams. You invest in different things to help grow your business. That's one avenue. Then you've got stocks, bonds, that kind of thing. Gold, commodities, Bitcoin, whatever it is there. And then you have this whole asset class of real estate. And to me, out of everything that I have studied and wanted to master, I always came back to real estate being my number one because one, it makes sense when you start to look at, oh, okay, this is how you buy a property. This is what I'm investing in. These are the variables. These are the risks. It just makes logical sense. And you have a bit of control over that asset. So
Mm,
if I want to sell my property, I can pretty much, as long as I have a buyer and or as long as I'm, willing to negotiate the price, I can sell that property. Whereas with stocks, the market could crash and I can do nothing. I could lose half my money and there's not a darn thing I can do about it except for wait for it to go back up.
right.
So I love that. Most millionaires, 90% of millionaires are made through real estate. And there's no secret that it is a fantastic vehicle to grow wealth. And in my opinion, bar none, there's nothing that even comes close to it.
Mm. Really good. Really, really good. Do you have to have like a lot of money to invest in real estate?
Such a good question. So the truth is, you don't really need to have a lot of money to invest in real estate. But like anything, if you start out with $1 million and you're investing, it is exponentially easier. That said, we all start from somewhere. And
Right.
a lot of us, like you and I, we were not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. And so we learned how to grow and grow and grow. And we get to that point. So there's all kinds of options. If you do not have money, you absolutely can invest in real estate. You can find investing partners. I actually fund deals for certain investors where we partner and they do the sweat equity, the work on the job, and I'm putting in the money. And so that the person that found the deal, that's operating the deal, that's going to sell the deal, they're doing the work, but they're not putting in the money. So that's one way they didn't have any money, but they had other skill sets and they found deals. And then there's so many other ways you can do seller finance, where the seller will hold your loan for you. And there's lease options. There's all kinds of vehicles that you can create to not have money. And there's books on it too. There's a book called Low and No Money Down by Brandon Turner. He wrote a book on that. There's a lot of books. If you look it up, you can study that. And if you really don't have any money, then that might be where you need to start, or maybe with a mentorship.
Right, right. Awesome, awesome. So how can people get started if they're like, "Tamar, I love this. I want to do this." How do they get started?
So the first thing to do is define first where you're really at financially, because if you're looking to buy assets and you have $0, then you may need to entertain one of the options that I was just talking about. But if you have some money and you want to get into it, I believe that the best thing to do is to start getting educated and figure out how much money do you have to invest, remembering that real estate isn't a liquid asset. So it's not something where, the one thing that people love about the stock market is that if I put $100,000 in it today, unless it goes down, I can get that 100,000 out tomorrow. With real estate, it's generally a longer term hold, even if you're flipping the property, which means you're rehabilitating the property and you're going to resell it. That takes a couple months. You have to wait for permits, you have to do the work. So the truth is that you want to figure out how much money you can afford to safely invest. And that can be anywhere. You can get into deals anywhere from 10,000 up. And based on that, the way I teach it is I like to teach my clients about all the strategies, because I like them to have the options and what vehicles are available that most people don't know about. It's amazing how when you start peeling the onion, you just you can't believe that it's there, because no one ever told you. And
Right,
a lot more than just buying a single family home and renting it out, although that's a fantastic option. And there are many, many places to do that. And there's also many places where you can invest passively, meaning that you could give someone $20,000 or you could take your $20,000, you could buy a property in a different state, in Tennessee, somewhere, Memphis, and you could buy a house that way. And then then you want to figure out how much you can afford to borrow, because part of the way we make money in real estate is by using leverage, which means that we are borrowing money from the bank so that the bank is actually uh, carrying the note, where we're able to make more on our money. So if I only have 20,000, but I can with that buy a house for 100,000 and the bank's loaning me 80,000, then I basically have an asset that I'm making money on worth 100,000. It's
right,
another amazing thing that doesn't exist anywhere else. So
right.
that's on the simplest form. There's so many options, but the main thing is, how do you get started? You get started. You just get in there. You start talking to people. You join groups. You get mentorship. You just dive in and learn and get into action and get going. And then yeah, you're going to miss some mistakes along the way, and that's okay, because ultimately you're going to
We
have
all
wealth.
make mistakes along the
Yep.
way. Doesn't matter what kind of business.
And it doesn't matter how experienced you are,
Yeah, we all make mistakes. So,
especially when we're challenging ourselves with something new. I mean, if we
yeah.
know we're doing something that we are very comfortable with, then there's less risk. I just wrote about this on this morning to my email list, that I had just sold a property in Los Angeles that was a great property in a great area, doing great. And I sold it because I felt like I could do better. And it was a tough decision, because what I had was good, but I was going for great. But then I had to take the risk. I had to let go of something that was very good for
Mm,
something better. And that's scary. And I was thinking that it's kind of like life.
yeah. Yeah. So interesting. I love this. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's like I said, I think it's really important that we consider uh, how we are impacting future generations, um, in not only what we believe about being wealthy, but in the actual wealth creation,
Mhm.
and setting those future generations up to do things easier than maybe we've done them or past generations have done them. I think about, like, personally, my parents came to Canada, like my dad came first after the war, and he worked on the railroad, and he worked on boats, and then my mom and my brothers came over on a ship, and, like, it was, like, hard, right? And it doesn't have to be like that anymore. Um, and people don't have to, like, struggle in the same way. Now there's still people who are struggling for sure, but, I just think there's so many more opportunities for us to change the whole trajectory of wealth for future generations, and it just starts with women doing their thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's step by step and it's just making that decision. And sometimes, even when I'm hesitant or I feel right now, I'm working on a book and it's hard. I noticed I gained a couple pounds too because, I'm going to eat some chips while I'm doing this. It's not
Right?
easy to take something on when you've
Right?
never done it. It's challenging, especially writing a book because you're just sitting there and it's like, and
Totally.
and so, no matter what mountain you're climbing, it's just the thing is just to keep on. I mean, I know I'll get to the finish line if I just keep pushing through it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Awesome. Thank you so much. If anybody is interested in doing more research on this, on looking at what's possible for you, I love the amount of resources that you provide to people and the information you have. Like, you always drop these really gold nuggets into our conversations, and I'm like, oh my God, need to do that. So if you are watching this and you're like, I am interested in this, definitely check out Tamar at wealthwarriorwoman.com. And you do have some free resources for people as well as paid services. So check out her website. It is awesome. And thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you sharing everything with everyone.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and I love speaking about money and wealth and growth and the opportunities in real estate. So it's just a pleasure for me.
Yeah. When does your book come out?
You're putting me on the spot here. But I did actually say by the end of the first quarter, I would like to have it done. So
Oh,
so that's
great.
my deadline. I'm giving myself a little bit of time, and I'm just diligently working.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to a signed copy.
So you will get one.
Awesome. All right, everybody. I encourage you to say yes to the mess, whatever that mess is for you in your life. Obviously, if it's got something to do with money and finances, I'm your go to gal. If you're wanting to get into building your wealth, Tamar is your go to gal. And say yes to it, embrace it. It got you to the place that you're at. And let's move on from there. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.